have a chance of winning it, of winning these 6 seats. And we will scrutinize or highlight 7 female candidates from both sides of the aisle.
Okay. All right then. Are you ready to go?
Yes, yes.
All right then. Listeners, as promised, is here today. He'll be back on Thursday. If you care to sponsor this segment or make a contribution to the work that is being done here, please inbox me and I will be in touch with you. All right, please. Thank you so much for those persons who are constantly responding to our requests. And that's why we are able to do what we do. Thank you so much. All right. So I look forward to your inbox messages and I'll reach out to you this afternoon. Just after I come off the program. Go ahead, Casey.
Yes, neighbor. And we will start with Manchester Northeast, neighbor. Yes. And this seat have been swinging in terms of our forecast. If you remember, when we started, we said that it was not in play, but the governing party needs to do something soon. And they left it late, left it late till we highlighted that Val Wint have established a lead. It was leaning PNP until it became a battleground as soon as a candidate was announced for the JLP. Now it's leaning heavily to the JLP. But it's not going to be a walkover. This Northeast Manchester seat, though leaning JLP, and I can clearly state that I think Archie Marks will be the Member of Parliament after the election. There is work to be done, and both parties know that, and both political parties will be putting in the work. Val Wint will not lay down and die just because Ambassador Archie Marks comes around. He knows he has an uphill task, but he will have to believe. The PNP have been pumping a lot of resources in that constituency, and I don't expect it to stop. So Northeast Manchester will be a hotly contested battleground. I think the JLP have reorganized and galvanized their support quicker than we anticipated. We thought it would have taken more time, but it seems like they have struck the right deal, they have named the right candidate, and the people love Archie Marks, at least the JLP supporters. I can tell you that. So Northeast Manchester, like a lot of previous election, is going to give us a battleground campaign. That will give us one of the most exciting campaign in the run-up to the general election. We might not, it might not reflect in the result if things continue in the trajectory it's going now, but it will be a battleground campaign. And we'll also take the opportunity to highlight this candidate. She is the last of the 126 candidates fielded by both parties, Senator Archie Marks. And
yes,
we call her Ambassador Archie Marks because she was ambassador to the America from 2007 to 2011, and then from 2016 until 2025 again. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. A businesswoman. She is known as a power breaker and what we will identify as Jamaica Wall Street. Yeah, she is the inventor of Paymaster, the popular Paymaster. So, you know, she's very innovative, a successful business woman. I think she has sold that for a fortune and give up even greater fortune to give herself to public service. So she is one who have really chosen Jamaica. And who wouldn't want to sit in the American embassy for the rest of their career? I mean, she give it up to represent the people of Manchester Northeast. And I think these people are lucky people. And I think we have some wonderful female candidates on both sides. And there are need to highlight them and thank them for their services. And Arja Marks is the first one on our list, even though she's the last candidate to be fielded.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
So,
but let me ask you a question though. Northeast Manchester has been voting Labour. Shaw wins what? Four or 5 terms there?
Maybe more, maybe 7. 93, 97, 2002, 2007, 2011, 2016, and 2020.
Why is it close now?
Well, it have always been close, and it have always been hotly contested. And what I am forecasting this evening is that it will be hotly contested. Yes. And if you remember the battles, Shaw versus Calvin Lynn, that was 1989. And Calvin Lynn actually won that one. Then it was Ardley Shaw versus the popular Churchill Nita. There wasn't many attorney more popular than Churchill Nita at that time. Ardley Shaw came out the victor. Then there was Ardley Shaw versus Errol Gentles of the PNP, and a big spokes was thrown in the JLP wheels in 1997 because Ardley Shaw wasn't only up against Errol Gentles, because there was the NDM that was invented by Howard Luce Golden and Wayne Chin, one of Ardley Shaw's top financier, top backer, was the candidate for the NDM in Northeast Manchester against Ardley Shaw. Yes. 2002, it was PNP going for their 4th term. Dorothy Miller, don't know if you remember Dorothy Miller. She didn't put up much of a fight, but 2007, Paul Lynn came to the fore, and it was widely reported that Manor Yard is finally going home. And that was the hottest one of them all. I think Ardley Shaw beat Paul Lynn by maybe 1,200 votes. And Val went in 2011 when PNP swept 2/3 of the constituency, came to within 400, and it was also another hot battle. So Valwyn came again in 2016, lost by 1,600. Valwyn went to Southwest St. Anne in 2020, and now Valwyn is back, and I've been leading the charge for the PNP over the last 2 years, campaigning alone with JLP not naming a candidate. And he got a lot of traction. He galvanized all his support. So expect all the possible support for the People's National Party in Manchester Northeast to come out. Now, the question was always, can the JLP and whichever candidate they choose and whichever team they choose galvanize the full JLP support to beat Valwyn with the numbers? I think they have. But there is still work to be done. There are still possibilities for both parties, and it will be a very exciting one. And we give you Northeast Manchester Politics Plus, and we give you Arja Marks.
So you are saying that Arja Marks is expected to retain that on behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party?
Yes, Arja Marks is expected to retain. I expect Arja Marks to retain it. I'm not saying she's expected. I don't know who you expect. But based on my work, I expect her to retain it. So, but there is time. And if one candidate uses their time better than the other, then they could gain some traction, and maybe, who knows, We have to respect the politics. We have to let it play out. It goes until 5 p.m. on election day.
Thank you, Casey. Can you move on to the next?
Yes. And the next seat, we are staying in Manchester.
Yes.
With Manchester Central. We actually
Yes.
have
Another female candidate.
yes, another dynamic female candidate in Rhoda Mar Crawford.
Yes.
She is a former G2K member. She was actually 32 when she unseated the very popular political stalwart Peter Bunting, who ran for the president of the PNP a few years before being beaten by Rhoda Mar Crawford. That's how big of a scalp that was. And if it wasn't for that Rhoda Mar Crawford victory, Peter Bunting surely would have been the opposition leader today. That's how significant that 2020 election battle was. A lot was at stake.
Wow.
Yes. So Rhoda Mar Crawford, she is, as a matter of fact, 18 years before Rhoda Mar Crawford unseated Peter Bunting in Manchester Central. And then, let me see, 14-year-old Rhoda Mar Crawford was a very active member of the JLP campaign in Manchester Central, supporting none other than former JLP candidate Norman Harn.
Yes.
That was John Jr.'s last stint. And if you remember...
How long did the PNP have that constituency? But since 1989, right?
Yes. Yes, they did 31 years before
31 years in central Manchester.
Yes, before Peter Bunting last stick to Rhoda Mar Crawford. Yes, and Rhoda Mar Crawford at 14 was a part of Norman Harn's campaign. The then JLP candidate Norman Harn was going up against John Jr. in John Jr. last battle in central Manchester. John Jr. won comfortable at the end, but like I'm talking about this battleground campaign, it was a very exciting campaign. It was a battleground campaign. It was one that the JLP went strong and the PNP had to come stronger to
He
retake
took over from Panton, right? Norman Hall.
I don't think Panton had run.
No, he didn't run, but
Yes.
he was the candidate.
He was the candidate. I remember that big meeting with Edward Siaga, Norman Harn and everybody. Lisa Hannah Panton at the time.
Yes.
Yes, was also there in central Manchester. JLP.
And I tell you this, Casey. When Panton was up against Junior, it was widely expected that he would have unseated Junior.
Yes, but for some reason, yes, but for some reason, He withdrew.
Yes. Well, there is a story behind that, but leave that alone.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know that story.
No, neighbor. He got a big job offer.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I don't know that story. Scratch, you're going to have to tell me later. Yes, so Rhoda Mar Crawford happened to be a blessing for Manchester Central. And I was there over the weekend, neighbor. I was there from Thursday until Saturday in central Manchester. And I can tell you, I did my sounding. And the general consensus is that Manchester Central has strong PNP support, but the MP is strong. And when I ask about the councillors who lost, they say, yes, the councillor lose. Especially in Patrick's, they said the JLP councillor around here, he was the big man and he died, and a little man came and he lost. But it will be different in the general election because the MP is strong. And that's comes specifically from my comrade cousin-in-law that I question on the matter.
Yes.
He said, yeah, the MP is strong. And when you ask everybody, and they're saying this about a first-time MP, the MP is strong. Yes, there is Kengdang campaigning, there is the PNP campaigning, but this MP is strong. That's what the PNP are saying. As far as the JLP and the neutrals would say, I don't really want to have much to do with the politics, but she is a good member of parliament. And the JLP supporters has nothing bad to say about Rhoda Mae Crawford. They worship her. They are grateful for her. They love her work and they're willing to give her a second term. So there aren't many things working against Rhoda Mae Crawford. As a matter of fact, what I also found out there in central Manchester is that in the local government, though it was 4-0, I expect the JLP to carry the division 3-1 when the general election comes.
Sorry, you're expecting the Labour Party to win 3 of the divisions in Manchester?
In Manchester Central.
Which means that you are giving the seat to Rhoda. You think the Labour Party will carry this?
Well, not necessarily. And I will be happy to report to you the truth that JLP, it wouldn't be the first time JLP is carrying 3 divisions and don't win the constituency.
Oh?
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
Yes. Because the margin that Belfield division normally comes with, Belfield division is the division that the PNP depend on to bring home the bacon. Yes. And PNP won by maybe 200 before with 500 margin in Belfield. And another interesting note, people keep on chastising me when I talk about how strong the JLP candidate Rhoda Mae Crawford is when compared to the Mayor Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is maybe councillor for the Royal Flat Divisions in 20 years in a strong PNP showing, a strong showing for the People's National Party in last year, local government election. He won by about 300. And I am telling you that Royal Flat Division will go to the JLP in the general election. And that's Donovan Mitchell's division. He is depending on Mario Mitchell's Belfield division to carry him to Garden House.
Sorry, sorry, Casey, did you say the mayor's own division is likely to lose it?
Yes, he will lose it in the general election.
What you saying?
He will lose it to Rhoda Mae Crawford and Joe Holness. Yeah,
so you are saying that it is only Belfield that the PNP is likely to win in Central? That division?
Yes, they will only win Belfield, I'm telling you. They will only win in Belfield. The most they can go in Royal Flat is Square. I think they will lose Royal Flat.
Yes, and Newport?
Pardon me?
No, Newport is not one of the division in Central.
Not Newport, not Patrick's.
Not Patrick, yes. They're not winning that one either?
No, JLP will win not Patrick's.
And the Alligator Pond? Is Alligator Pond the other one?
No, the other one is Mandeville.
Sorry, I have all my things mixed up here. Go over the divisions for me, my dear sir, please.
Yes,
the 4 divisions.
Napatrick Division, Mandeville Division, Belfield Division, and the Royal Flat Division.
And you are saying that Rhoda is expected to carry 3 divisions, and the Labour Party would have carried 3 divisions before and lost the election?
Yes.
Huh.
But so it's about the sympathy vote in Belfield. It's about how many people in Belfield is willing to carry Donovan Mitchell or go against Rhoda Mae Crawford, who, let me remind you, is from Belfield and have been getting more votes in Belfield than any other JLP candidate.
Do you have the results out of Belfield in the last election?
The last election. Let me check.
All right, listeners. This is so interesting that I'm probing a little bit more. We are looking, of course, on some of the battleground seats on a Monday. On Mondays, we do this. On Thursdays, we give you the election results. We are covering 6 battleground constituencies tonight, and we are going to be looking at some of the women that are running in the election 2025. Of course, the Prime Minister is suggesting that the election will be held soon. My understanding is that the party has called 3 mass meetings. Scratchy?
Yes, neighbor.
Yes, you hear anything more about the mass meetings?
Yes, I hear that it's Mandeville, down there in St. James and in Kingston, after 3.
Uh-huh. This is a sure sign. I think the election will be announced at one of these mass meetings, Scratchy.
I don't know, the Prime Minister will be calling it in Mandeville again.
I doubt that. Yes. Yes.
But personally for me, neighbor, I think the elections will be called in rural Jamaica.
In rural Jamaica?
Yes.
That's Montego Bay?
Yes, I think it's going to be in Montego Bay. I don't think it's after 3. Yeah?
150 strong?
Can't be wrong.
Drop 200,000 in some shops, Grace.
Yes, I think I'm expecting to see. I don't know, neighbor. We know Kingston, you are the capital, but St. James is
boy, listeners, you're going to have to give me a little time. Let me take some time off to cover this for you. But Scratchy, aren't you amazed to hear what is happening out of Manchester? That
I mean, definitely, neighbor. Very, 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 very amazed, neighbor. One of the things, neighbor, I just didn't want to interject Casey because he was on a roll and he was very on point. But I want to understand, neighbor, with Northeast Manchester, neighbor.
Yes.
But for me, neighbor, in every parish, neighbor, I have what I call a mother constituency. And for me, in Manchester, Northeast is the mother constituency for me, for the Jamaica Labour Party.
Yes. It's the easiest one that they can win.
Yeah, meaning this is where the hype is coming from. This is where the momentum is coming from. You know?
Uh-huh.
You're seen as the more stronger constituency down there in the parish. A
lot of eyes are on Manchester, you know, Scratchy.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, I can tell the listeners that if you see Rhoda carrying Central and
yes, neighbor.
yes, sorry, he's back. Let's go back to the forecaster. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, neighbor. The result from the local government elections.
The last, you have the general election there for Belfield?
No, the local government election. I thought that was what you asked.
Well, go ahead with what you have. Yes.
Okay. The Belfield margin, neighbor, was 524. That was the margin. That was the margin in Belfield.
Yes.
And remember, this is a strong PNP showing and a weaker JLP showing the last local government election, especially in Manchester. And in the Napachicks division, the PNP won by 114. In the Mandeville division, the PNP won by 200 and under 200, neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, neighbor. They won by 220 and 27.
And Royal Flat?
Royal Flat division, the PNP would have won that by, let me see, 339.
Okay.
Yes. And these margin in Napachicks and Mandeville will be wiped out easily. And also in Royal Flat. The Belfield division, if you notice, the PNP is...
Sorry, Keith. These margins will be wiped out easily?
Yes, these margins will be wiped out, and Rhoda Mike Crawford will come out of these 3 divisions with a big lead. And the PNP knows that. And what the PNP is actually doing, they are campaigning hard in the Belfield division. I see them having spot meetings at corner shops all around Belfield almost every other day, neighbor, because they are looking for something like an 800 majority in Belfield.
Out of Belfield? Do you think they can come out of Belfield with that?
I don't think so. They won't do that against Rhoda Mike Crawford.
I see. Well,
I have a little secret to let you and scratch it in on.
Los?
Mr. Danville Walker is leading the charge in the parish of Manchester for the JLP.
Not only over where Audrey is, for the entire parish.
I wouldn't think just northeast.
In case the same Belfield that cost Mr. Danville Walker the election as well.
Yes, it's a Belfield that cost most JLP candidates who come close the elections.
But Casey, what you're saying now, going by the numbers, Rhoda Mike Crawford has managed to make some form of gain in Belfield, either by persons who are more interested in the
thing is, they say, what you give is what you get. And I will not tell you that Belfield loves Rhoda.
Yeah, definitely. I understand.
Scratchy. Rhoda Mike Crawford loves Belfield.
Exactly.
He is the first JLP candidate I see and listen to that have a genuine love for Belfield. And I think the people of Belfield know that. And
Casey, they're asking you to repeat the local government numbers, please.
No, it's on the EOJ website, you know, neighbor.
I know, but
Yes.
but for the benefit of the listeners.
Anyway, the local government numbers. Remember, I don't have the laptop here, you know, neighbor.
Oh, all right, yeah, fantastic, no problem. I understand. Go ahead, sir. Just go ahead. Wrap up with Central Manchester.
Yes. So Central Manchester again. I think it will be another hotly contested seat, a battleground campaign. I think Rhoda Mike Crawford is way stronger than Donovan Mitchell. The PNP have over the years the stronger team in Manchester Central. I don't think it will be so this time around. I think the JLP is as strong as they need to be. The PNP have traditional support, maybe more diehard people, but I think the JLP have the policy, the platform, the ideas, and all the mechanism to get out the people who are not so diehard and will vote on policies and will vote on the job that the government has done so far. I think there are a lot of well-thinking supporters and voters and Jamaican in Central Manchester, probably more than any other constituency. And it's another reason why it's so difficult for the PNP to unseat the best MP that Central Manchester have ever had.
Oh, you are giving Rhoda Central.
Yes.
Jamaica Labour Party is going to win Central Manchester,
yes,
and also Northeast Manchester. Wow, Rhoda Moy, what an MP you have been.
Yes, neighbor. And neighbor, for me, personally, and Casey, I think neighbor, you see, Andrew Michael Holness, neighbor.
Yes.
I think we underestimate this man so much, neighbor. This man is a genius, a political genius. This man is a strategist, neighbor. Neighbor, I don't want you to think that Marks going down there in Northeast. Yes, Casey.
Speak for yourself. When you're talking about underestimating Andrew Holness, don't say we.
No, not here. I know what I mean. A lot of the political pundits and a lot of underestimate his political experience and his political strength and power.
Say they have.
Yeah, they have. When you look at a Northeast Manchester neighbor with RG Marks coming down there in a neighbor, They say politics is local, neighbor. RJ Marks coming down there saying the neighbor is not only in good sense for us not East Manchester alone, and it's going to be a beneficial for Manchester and a whole in the neighbor. My reason pointing out this, and my point I want to make to you, neighbor, there's no other parish in Jamaica that has more returning residents than Manchester, neighbor. Manchester has the most returning residents. No, Miss RJ, where most of our returning residents come from, neighbor? The United States of America. No, neighbor, look at these persons don't partake in the election process, you know. But neighbor, trust me, a person like a RJ Marks will definitely bring out the upper and the higher echelon of Manchester, wherever they are from, to come out and vote in support of the Jamaica Labour Party. Trust me, it's a master stroke move by the Prime Minister in putting RJ Marks down there in Manchester. Trust me.
Yes. So you have to look at the broader parish for that candidate.
And unlike South Manchester, neighbor, the JLP haven't thrown their former aspirant in other constituency. Where you see Mr. Dunkley in Western St. Andrew, while Adrian Pierre is in Southeast St. Anne. John McCullough and Omar Miller are both in Northeast Manchester as a part of RJ Marks' team.
Yes. All right. Very extensive work, Casey. Let's move on. Where are we moving from now?
We don't have a female candidate to highlight here, but we can't go Manchester. We can't go to Manchester and leave out Manchester Northwest if we are talking about battleground.
Wow, what a battleground this one is. Let's hear what's happening there. Damian Young, Michael Phillips. Give us the analysis. So far, Casey, you have the Labour Party winning 2 seats in Manchester. That's Central and Northeast.
This is really not about just a forecast. Yes, I have them leaning JLP. I don't know if what PNP can pull out of the hat, but I expect it to go on the same trajectory, and I expect JLP to bring home those 2 seats with those 2 beautiful ladies. And you realize, I don't know if you realize, but when I speak about those ladies, I don't normally mention their beauty because I don't want people to think that's just what they have on show.
Yes, they are beautiful indeed.
Yes. So I expect Ambassador Marks and MP Rhoda Mike Crawford to return to go to Parliament. I expect Rhoda Mike Crawford to be in the cabinet to form part of the next government, either as a minister or a state minister.
Yes. Yes. I think she has completed her
and she has done her job as the best MP. And Prime Minister Holness, I'm watching you.
Yes. Wow. Go ahead, Casey. Go to Northwest for me, please, sir.
Northwest Manchester. Wow. And another thing scratching. And people say we are biased at times. But the JLP seem to be coming up with the best candidates. Better and better candidates. I don't know why. They just seem to be finding better talent.
Wow.
And I think politics is lucky to have Damian Young.
Wow.
Yes. Politics is indeed lucky to have Mr. Young at a time when Northwest Manchester is getting fatigued, is getting tired of the representation of the PNP. And the PNP already pulled the rabbit out of the hat when they replaced the Dean Peart with Michael Phillips. And that was the master stroke that helped the PNP to retain Manchester Northwest in 2016. I know Mr. Phillips went there 2011 when the PNP would have won anyway. But had the NP stayed, I think 2016 was the year the PNP would have lost it. And because Michael Phillips was still seen as relatively new to the constituency, he survived 2020. But now this would have been his fourth term. He's going up to be a 4-star general this year, 2025. And Damian Young, who lost the 2020 general election, have been better, doing a better job as caretaker candidate than most MP are doing. He's doing better than even MPs that are doing well. That's how good Damian Young is. And even if Michael Phillips was good, Damian Young would still be better than him. So as far as candidates are concerned, that is a mismatch, dear neighbor. Now we head to the political parties and their ratings. The JLP ratings across the country is much higher than the PNP. So that's another plus for Damian Young. So all fruits are ripe for picking for the JLP in Manchester Northwest come the 2025 general election, whenever the Prime Minister decides to announce the date. The thing now is the organization, because despite getting some good traction, they didn't have the best of candidate in Northwest Manchester as councillor caretaker, and they didn't win. And when I do my work on the ground, I realized that their machinery was nowhere up to where it needs to be.
Whose machinery? Whose machinery?
The JLP, with neither financial nor human resources, and in the local government election, and they have identified that as the problem. And Damian Young is not only finding people as supporters every day, but he is finding workers every day. Northwest Manchester have more JLP workers than it have ever had. You know politics is... Yes. Yes, and interview Mr. Young again and ask him. He will wonder how I know, but I know. Yes, and he is going to get the most volunteers from labor right from across the globe who wants to go somewhere to work election day. Damian Young will get the most volunteers. Not even Rhoda Mike Crawford will beat him when it comes to volunteers. Yes.
Why is this so? Why is this so?
The man seems to have all the answers to the existing opportunities in Manchester Northwest. And I say existing opportunities because he don't see the problem. He sees the solution. And we interview him here and we heard neighbor. He has the answers and he don't see them as problems. He sees them as opportunities to make things better.
Yes.
And he walked the walk. He have been walking the walk. He's not just talking the talk. He's not one who is staying on the sideline and say, vote for me to be MP and I will do this. He's showing the MP what an MP should be doing.
Look at what I have here before me, Casey. You are here suggesting that Labour Party is carrying Central, Labour Party is carrying Northeastern, and Labour Party has a good chance at winning Northwestern. Yes, sir?
Yes, neighbor. Definitely. Definitely. Manchester could go 3-1 again. And I realized that the JLP supporters, the JLP strongmen in Daryl Vaz and others, Marlon Morgan, everybody has a vendetta against Peter Bunting. So if they have things their way, JLP will go 4-0 in Manchester
No. Say that again.
I said
Uh-huh.
the JLP hierarchy, all the JLP strongmen, except for Andrew Holness, because there's something about this prime minister. He never gets himself into a war of words. But everybody seems to be having their rifle pointing at Peter Bunting. So if the JLP have their way, Peter Bunting will not go to Garden House.
There is a possibility that the Labour Party could sweep Manchester 4-0. No, sir. What is this I'm hearing?
Neighbor, without a doubt, neighbor.
Yes,
Neighbor, listen, neighbor. You see these persons, neighbor, no matter how much wealth they want or whatever they want to have in life, we not give them no respect that they don't respect, neighbor. Peter Bunting is nothing but a sore loser. We're going to classify him as that, and we're going to deal with him as that, and we're going to call him out as a loser. You going into that race, you're a loser, you're going to be a loser. It is a strong possibility, neighbor. Neighbor, there are 3 persons, neighbor, who I think Jamaica Labour Party supporter want to see the back off come election day. Peter Bunting is one in fall in that 3. Your good friend, Mr. Crawford, is the next one. And the next one, the next lashy one down there in Westmoreland by the name of Mr. Campbell. Jamaica Labour Party want to see the backs of those 3 persons, neighbor.
Wow. My good friend Damian Crawford.
Yes, neighbor, Jamaica Labour Party want to see the backs of those 3 persons. Those
Scratchy, Casey is saying that the Labour Party could take Manchester 4-0.
Yes, neighbor, it's a strong possibility, neighbor. The right groundwork, neighbor, the right machinery on the day, neighbor, and everything in place, neighbor. It's a strong possibility, neighbor, that the Jamaica Labour Party can sweep Manchester 4-0. It's currently at what, 3-1?
Yes.
Then it is very much possible, neighbor. Neighbor, the young man, Mr. Young is doing a wonderful job down there, neighbor. Neighbor, with the right support, neighbor, and the right coordination. I just hope that all 4 candidates down there in Manchester, neighbor. Yes, politics is local and an individual thing, but I hope all 4 also are coordinated, neighbor, because some might be end up with more resources than some. You understand what I mean, neighbor?
But if the Labour Party is sweeping Manchester 4-0, then it's a landslide for you.
Neighbor, that's what I'm telling you, neighbor. That is what I'm telling you, neighbor. Over 60% voter turnout, neighbor, is going to wipe out the PNP back again, neighbor. Neighbor, the PNP cannot win the general election with a 3-1 victory in Manchester, neighbor.
No.
Even if the Jamaica Labour Party should win 3-1, the PNP cannot win the general election with a 3-1 victory. And again, now go over to St. Elizabeth. No, we're not jumping the gun with Casey, but we just stay for Manchester. They cannot, neighbor. They cannot.
Scotchy.
Yes, my bar.
You say if the JLP win Manchester 3-1, the PNP cannot win the general election.
Yeah.
If the JLP lose Manchester 3-1, the PNP cannot win the general.
Still can't win.
Hold on. Say that again.
If the JLP win 1 seat in Manchester, the PNP cannot win the general election.
How is that case?
and for context, I see somebody taking me on in the comment. I did not say, I think you guys should listen more attentively now. I was exploring the possibilities, and I did not say JLP will win Manchester 4-0. Maybe neighbor said it, but that's not what I said.
Exactly. And neighbor didn't say it neither. We were saying that there's a possibility.
Okay. I was exploring the possibilities, and I said if the JLP have their way, they will not let Peter Bunting back in Parliament if they have anything to say about it.
I agree.
I don't know if Mark Golding regrets letting Peter Bunting on the platform and the campaign trail, because he seems to be developing a foot in the mouth disease, you know. And that's why the JLP is taking aim at him, because he has been creating the opportunity for the JLP to gain more political traction by his utterances about the bus, his utterances about this contractor at a school in South Manchester, all kind of things. Every time people wear orange jumpsuit when he becomes Minister of National Security again, he should be, and a man who knows well that he should be careful not to mention that he was Minister of National Security, because it will just work against his party. And the audacity of Mark Golding to put him as spokesperson on national security in a time when JLP is doing the best work on national security, and we have the best security minister in the history of the country. Like, I don't know. I think the PNP are lacking talent. I think the PNP have people on the sidelines who are pretending to be neutral, who should be upfront in the politics and be a part of the shadow cabinet. I see people like Daniel Archer going around trying to act as if she is neutral. I don't know who she's trying to fool. I think she would be better serving the PNP and the people of Jamaica if she just be a part of the PNP, be a candidate, be a part of the shadow cabinet, because she is bright and talented, you know, and carry across the message and the vision of the PNP better. They would have stand a better chance. I think PNP have too much intellectuals on the hide, and I don't know. They seem to be putting forward the intellectually deprived to campaign, or maybe they're just caught in a situation where they're up against a government that is doing everything right, so everything they say sounds like gibberish. So they have to be careful how they speak. And I don't want anybody to think I'm bashing the People's National Party. I'm just calling it as I see it. And if you disagree with me, neighbor, please tell me.
Well, sir, I don't want to comment on that. What I want you to tell me is that you just said that if the Jamaica Labour Party wins one seat in Manchester, PNP is going to struggle to win the election?
Yes, PNP can't win the election unless they sweep Manchester.
But they're not sweeping Manchester, KC.
No, they're not. They're not sweeping Manchester. So they're not winning the election. But every PNP will tell you that they're sweeping Manchester because they know a part of their road to victory is that they have to sweep Manchester.
But why would they have to sweep Manchester? Let the listeners know.
If there is a 32 neighbor.
Oh.
And in the PNP worst elections in the past, except for 2020, in the recent history, they have been winning Manchester 3-1. Remember, the last three elections, the PNP lost 3 general elections in the past 45 years. And only one of them, only in 2020, did they lose as much as 3 constituencies in Manchester. So, I'm telling you that 2007 when they lost, they still won Manchester 1. So unless there's political change in the political dynamics, big political realignment, they cannot win government without winning Manchester at least 3-1. And because there are changes across the landscape, like for instance, when they were winning Manchester 3-1 and still losing, Portland East was a safe PNP seat.
Uh-huh.
So it's things like that now that have to sweep Manchester to win the general election.
So then, on election night, if we see Audrey Marks winning Northeast, and we see Rhoda Moy carrying Central,
you can go
to your bed early. You call the election.
And when I say Manchester, I mean I have to sweep Manchester because I want you to remember that. When they won in previous elections,
yes,
they have been sweeping St. Mary to win. And with them losing Portland this time around, and is likely to lose St. Thomas, sweeping St. Mary and Hanover and Westmoreland alone won't help. Because they have been beaten 5-0 and 4-0 in St. James and St. Elizabeth. Have you seen Delray slowly meeting the other day? It wasn't a St. Elizabeth parish meeting, you know. And that's Delray slowly, that's the weakest JLP seat in St. Elizabeth.
What a something on this program tonight.
Have you seen Homer David meeting recently in South St. James? That's the weakest JLP seat in St. James.
What a something. Boy, so Casey, when we are doing the election forecast, you are saying that if we see if we tick off Ambassador Mark and we tick off Central, then may as well we tell the listeners that the Labour Party is going to be returning to government. Scratchy.
Most definitely, neighbor. Labour Party will definitely return to government. That's not terrible.
Definitely.
Okay. Where next, Casey?
Coming to you, neighbor.
All right, Scratchy.
Yes, neighbor.
This is a fantastic analysis of things in the country.
We are going to St. Ann Northwest now, neighbor.
Okay then. St. Ann Northwest. Northwest. That's Crystal Lee.
Yes.
Yeah. How is Crystal Lee doing?
Yes. Crystal Lee, you jump straight to house, Crystal Lee. You jump straight to the forecast.
Well, go ahead, sir. You back up.
Anyway, I want to tell you that Crystal Lee is strong. I mentioned on the program last week that we like Gabriella Morris. I think she's doing a good job. She's doing as good a job as she can do. But the tide is just not with the PNP in St. Ann. Crystal Lee is just too strong in St. Ann Northwest. She doesn't have a lot to work with. Yes, she can keep a big meeting, draw a big crowd in Brownstown, yes. In a parish meeting or even a constituency meeting, but that doesn't say she can win.
Yeah, and I see her posting those pictures, Casey. Large. She seems very confident, very alive.
And that's a part of the politics. And when I say she's doing well, that's the aspect I'm speaking about, because you got to have a psychological edge. You got to put that. You can't let people feel like I'm going to lose, so don't vote for me. You got to give people the feeling that when they go to the polling booth and mark an X for you, it's a winning X. So,
all right.
Name me one political candidate in the history of politics who haven't said that they will win, or their canvassing show that they are ahead.
Well, Joseph Witter in West Kingston.
Well,
Bonnie Witter. Bonnie Witter. Neighbor, I want to tell you, Bonnie Witter think he can win, neighbor. Well, neighbor, Bonnie Witter came in my community, neighbor, where I don't think one PNP live in my community, neighbor. And we sat down with Bonnie Witter at the bar, I would drink nearly 150,000 worth of alcohol out of liquor from Bonnie Witter, trying to buy us over.
All right.
What you saying?
Yeah, we sit and drink with Bonnie Witter.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Boy.
Every election would drink out Bonnie, neighbor. Every election would drink out Bonnie. When it comes to this community, we're not even one Labour, one PNP don't live. One trying to switch us.
And as for Gabriela Morris, I keep on telling people that she didn't get a bad seat, you know. Northwest St. Ann would have been something you can work with as a new candidate.
Yes.
Yes, because it goes to the PNP more often than not in recent history. And it's one of the constituencies that held firm when the Andrew Holness storm came in 2016, and it remained with Dayton Campbell against a very popular Neil Lawrence. It didn't fall until 2020. So while most of the JLP Andrew Holness candidates are going for a third term, I'm talking about the 2016 generation who were new aspirants for the 2016 general election, like Juliet Holness, Juliet Catbird Flynn, Favour Williams, even Dr. Christopher Tufton, because you know he was new in West Central St. Catherine at that time because he's coming from St. Elizabeth. Floyd Green down in St. Elizabeth, you know. Dave Brown down in Hanover. Crystal Lee is not one of them because Dayton Campbell and the PNP held on in 2016. So it's Northwest is normally that strong for the PNP. It's Arnold Bertram's seat.
Yes.
So it's not a bad seat to work with. If I was a new candidate going to be a standard bearer for the PNP and I Northwest St. Ann, I would be jumping for joy. I have something to work with. But if you can see, if you know this neighbor, Northwest St. Ann is one of those that the JLP took from the PNP in the 2020 election, which most people call an anomaly. But it didn't go back to the PNP in the local government election last year.
No?
No. Crystal Lee carried all 4 councillors. And it was an excellent showing because the PNP was strong. She didn't carry any of those councillors by more than 4%.
Yes.
So that tells you it's a battleground constituency. But if the JLP machinery was so ripe and ready in 2024 in that local government election to carry through 4 candidates when it was kind of a PNP election, you wouldn't expect Crystal Lee to lose in the general.
Exactly.
And go on the ground and find out how if they admire her or not. They love her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crystal is doing great, man.
Yes, Crystal Lee will win, and she's a former councillor in Western St. Mary. In
St. Mary.
Yes, and she's one that, as far as the cabinet is concerned, I think she was one that was maybe told that you have a constituency that's a tough constituency and you're a first-time MP and you should
put in
go
somewhere, yeah, put in somewhere.
MP
put in somewhere.
and gain some control before we can bother you with cabinet work.
Exactly.
So if you realize neither Crystal Lee, Tove Hamilton, Rhoda Mike Crawford, those people is nowhere near the cabinet. And for some reason, they're some of the best MP. I'm wondering if we should just use senators for the cabinet now, neighbor.
Well, I think the Constitution limits the amount. I think it's
the amount of
a certain position, like the Minister of Finance cannot be a senator.
I know. You have to be an MP to be Minister of Finance and Prime Minister.
I don't think you can have more than three persons from this Senate.
In the cabinet.
Right. There's a limit on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Casey, that is amazing coming out of St. Ann.
Yes, but Crystal Lee,
Yes.
magnificent female candidate. Also, Gabriela Morris.
Yes. I like Gabby.
We're looking forward for more contribution from her in the politics and in public affairs. You know, we want a good opposition, you know, neighbor. We want
Yes,
Norman Man, the PNP, to be Norman Man, the PNP, carry on the good ideology, challenging the JLP, you know?
Well, I see Gabby is, you know, I don't know. I like Gabby, but I don't know that when you are saying that she's not going to be able to prevail here, eh?
Yeah, Crystal Lee will retain her seat.
All right. So then we went to northeastern Manchester, where Audrey Marks is, and Casey suggesting that Audrey Marks is going to hold on over there. Well, not hold on, but she's replacing Shaw. She'll win. We went the member of parliament. She's going to be the mayor of Mandeville, Donovan Mitchell, is the challenger. After an in-depth analysis, Casey is saying that Rhoda will prevail. Then we went over to northwestern Manchester.
Just for clarification, neighbor, northwestern Manchester remains a battleground as far as I'm concerned. I was putting the spotlight on Damian Young and showing you all the good work that he has done and the advantage he has as a candidate over Michael Phillips in Northwest. But as you know, I'm banking on him to come up with the numbers, but he needs to come up with the numbers. He needs to go near 8,000 to defeat Michael Phillips and the PNP in Northwest, because Northwest Manchester PNP vote is permanent, you know, neighbor. They don't want to see anything to vote. They will vote because they are comrades. And this is a base election as far as the PNP is concerned. That's why you see their behaviors are like that, because they're not interested in what the undecided have to say. They are carrying it as a base election because they think that the base will carry them through. That's why they are trying to assassinate the character of the Prime Minister and the credibility of the JLP, because they're trying to turn off the undecided from the political process. So
I see.
People will criticize the PNP and say they don't have a plan. They have a plan. They have a plan to make it a base election, a low voter turnout.
Is this happening?
Yes, because they realize that a local government election carried them to maybe within a seat. And you know the numbers in the local government election.
Oh, well, we have done 5 so far, Casey.
We have done Northeast St. Elizabeth, haven't we?
Not tonight. We haven't done that tonight.
Okay.
That's where you're going. That's where you're going next.
I think I'm going to do one more tonight, you know, neighbor.
Well, you have done 3 in Manchester, 1 in Sedan. Yes. So that's 4. I have 2 more to go.
No, I'm doing one more tonight.
1 more. Okay. Which one?
I'm taking it from the comments.
Okay.
We're looking at KC Battleground.
Yes.
If not today, KC, I think I need to call you now. I think we need to do a serious look at Central Kingston, there at Central Kingston.
Okay. Yes, I have some new information and I've given some different analysis on Central Kingston, you know, Scratchy, but you weren't here, but you need to call me.
Yeah, man, we call you.
Mappy Flex say Northwest St. Catherine. So we'll take Northwest St. Catherine. Yes. It's what I continue to give Newton Amos no love based on my forecast. I continue. Laborites have me up for that. But the fact is, I haven't reached Northwest St. Catherine physically, and I must admit that to the viewers and the listeners, I'm unable to reach Northwest St. Catherine on my days off. I have more days off now. I have 3 days off now from work. And I got to spend some time in Northwest St. Catherine and test the ground without people knowing who I am and what I'm there to do, because that's how I work. Yes. So we could come up with some resources for Northwest St. Catherine. So when I do Northwest St. Catherine, I really do it on how I see the politics and the data science.
Yes.
As far as the data science is concerned, when the JLP was winning by over 12 percentage points in 2020, they didn't take St. Catherine Northwest. Are they going to win by over 12 percentage points this time? Maybe as far as seat counts are concerned, but not as far as voter swing is concerned, because I don't think they will win a lot of these constituencies that I'm forecasting them to win by big margins. I think the margins will be closer. So I think Northwest St. Catherine may have lost a percentage or two instead of gain since the general election. And guys, when we have MP in the constituency, we can say that let's see how the MP will fare, because the council didn't fare well. Farewell as in 2-letter, not farewell as in goodbye. So, as in 2 words. Anyway, Newton Amos was not selected as Member of Parliament. He lost to Ugaya. He had work to do, like we see a Damian Young doing. I think he have done a good job. I think he have been the de facto MP. But Northwest St. Catherine did something that Northwest Manchester haven't done. They have changed the candidate, and they have catapulted in one of their favorite sons, in Damian Crawford. Like him or not, he can whip the comrades in St. Catherine into a frenzy. There will not be any comrade in St. Catherine Northwestern who's saying, I'm not voting for Damian Crawford. They will love him.
Yes.
They are looking for him to be their leader of the party going into the general election after this. So it's a lot at stake for St. Catherine Northwest and Damian Crawford. It's not just to win a seat. This is as detrimental as Peter Bunting versus Rhoda Crawford. And, wow, is that a coincidence? Another Crawford in the race. This time on the other side. If Crawford wins in Central Manchester in 2020, Peter Bunting will have to go search for a seat, and he will not be able to be opposition leader or president of the PNP. Same things happen if Crawford, Damian this time, loses in 2025. It's a lot at stake. And if Damian Crawford loses this election, the JLP will win upwards of 52 seats.
Wow.
And I'm not forecasting that Crawford will lose. I think he has the edge over Amos, despite the fact that this is Amos' 3rd time. But if Damian Crawford loses, his political career is dead, and the PNP will be huddled up into a meeting trying to find a way how they're going to bounce back in election in 2035.
2030.
No. If they lose St. Catherine, Northwestern, they will be looking at 2035 general election.
In other words, the Labour Party would win a fourth term?
Yes. If the impact, if it's so devastating, if the JLP can give such a blow to the PNP this year, 2030 election is a foregone conclusion.
Yes.
If Damien Crawford loses St. Catherine Northwest, 2030 election is a foregone conclusion. No matter who is the leader.
I agree, Casey. I agree, Casey. Term will definitely lead to a easier fourth term, neighbor, without a doubt.
So Damien Crawford is an experienced politician. He will be working on the ground. He will be working overtime, no matter where the resources comes from.
But despite that, Casey, he has his own sore foot them bothering him though.
Yes, he has the sore foot, but remember he's in St. Catherine Northwest. Sometimes you have to analyze the constituency. It became a battleground when JLP won 49 seats.
Because despite
we're near a battleground and the election is.
Despite neighbor,
yes,
all the credit that persons give to Mr. Crawford out there, most of his credit, neighbor, is in some form of theatrics or some gimmicks. If you look at his performance, neighbor, how long has now Mr. Crawford been a part of the political system? If you look at his performance, neighbor, he went over there in East Rue or St. Anthony, neighbor. We saw we had a poor performance. The majority of the person, they didn't want him back. So he didn't make any mark neither as a member of parliament. He left there, they booted him, he went, he just one of the strongest constituency neighbor ruled by the People's National Party for 30 odd years. He went down there despite managed to get the most votes out, PNP votes out there. He still managed to last at election, neighbor. So there's a lot, neighbor, without Damien Crawford don't have a lot to celebrate terms in terms of being a good MP or anything like that. You get me, neighbor?
Yes, I do.
But again, I give him the advantage again going into this one, neighbor, because of the constituency. As Casey, so you have to look at the type of constituency. That's a very, very important factor. So based on the type of the constituency, neighbor, I give him that edge. And this is not credit or nothing, but I don't think Mr. Amos is the right person either to put up that fight towards a Damien Crawford, neighbor.
Well,
I think he's unfortunate with timing.
Okay. All right. That's it, Casey. That you want to leave it there?
Yes, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. See you on Thursdays. See you on Thursday.
Thank you there, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Scratchy, call me.
Yeah, bro, I call you, bro.
Cool.
So Scratchy, that's what we have tonight for the forecast. What's your take on what you heard?
Yeah, yes, neighbor, I share a lot of what Casey said. Definitely, I often tell him I like how Casey make his forecast. Casey, he don't just talk at the top of his head. You know, he goes on the ground, he goes meets, he talk with persons, he get a better understanding of what is going on, and he reports whatever is factual, whether it is in favor of the party that he supports. I think that is something good, neighbor. I will have to big up Casey as always for that, neighbor. But definitely I share a lot of the same sentiments. Down there again in Manchester, neighbor. I see Labour taking Manchester.